welcome to the news update in AFRICUNIA television, reaching from the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Deborah Ezeh, and many thanks for joining me. Looking into the African scene today, South Africa on Tuesday relaxed some of the remaining COVID-19 curbs, dropping mandatory negative results for inbound fully vaccinated travelers, a move expected to boost tourist numbers. President Cyril Ramaphosa made the announcement to scale down restrictions imposed when the coronavirus arrived in the country in March 2020, as new infections rates slowed and deaths are fewer. Travelers entering South Africa will need to show proof of vaccination on a negative PCR test not older than 72 hours. Previously, all travelers entering the country were required to produce a costly negative PCR test inside the country. Vaccinated individuals or those that have a negative test results will be allowed back into sporting stadiums and music and theatre shows, which will be permitted to operate at half capacity. And in Sudan, Sudan's government has denied reports about the presence of Russian paramilitary Wagner group in Sudan. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the Foreign Ministry termed accusation by the ambassador of the US, Britain and Norway on Wagner's activities in Sudan as a blatant interference in Sudan's domestic affairs. On March 21st, the Troika for Sudan, the US, Britain and Norway, said the Wagner group was engaged in illicit activities that undermined the rule of law in Sudan. But the Sudanese ministry denied the claims, saying the three envoys are trying to drag Sudan into the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. And moving on, in Nigeria, the lingering foreign exchange scarcity in the country has continued to worsen even as the exchange rate on the foreign market is inching towards 590 naira per dollar. The development may lead to massive job loss in the manufacturing industry, among other sectors, according to the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria. The development comes over 8 months after the Central Bank of Nigeria stopped the sale of Forex to bureau de change operators and promised to boost liquidity in commercial banks. The Chief Executive Officer of Financial Derivative Company, Bismarck Rewen, had in January projected that the CBN would devalue the naira by the end of 2022, adding the spending on political campaigns ahead of the 2023 general elections will put more pressure on foreign exchange supply in the Nigerian economy. And still in Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, alongside other dignitaries yesterday, predicted an agricultural and economic boom for the country following the coming on the stream of the $2.5 billion Dangote fertilizer plant in Ibeju-Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria. They spoke during the inauguration of the plant with an installed capacity of producing 3 million metric tons of urea yearly. Specifically, President Buhari noted that the plant is already exporting fertilizer to the United States of America, India and Brazil, among other countries, and is expected to trigger huge job creation opportunities, wealth, and secure the country's agricultural future. Buhari noted that the plant would result in Nigeria becoming self-sufficient in fertilizer production. According to him, the federal government is now determined more than ever before to provide enabling environments for private sector investors to thrive, adding that his government would continue to improve on infrastructure, power, security, and enact relevant laws and regulations that will drive investment in the economy. And still on the African scene, a campaign to vaccinate more than 9 million children against polio was launched this week in 4 southern and eastern African countries, after an outbreak was confirmed in Malawi. The emergency immunization campaign began in Malawi, where vaccine drops are administered to children across the country. It will be extended Thursday to neighboring Mozambique, Tanzania, and Zambia, according to UNICEF, which is working with governments and other partners. 3 more vaccination campaigns will follow in the coming month with the aim of reaching more than 20 million children. UNICEF has produced more than 36 million doses of polio vaccine for the first 2 rounds of immunization for children in Malawi, Mozambique, Tanzania, and Zambia. In Malawi, UNICEF is installing 270 new vaccine refrigerators, repairing older refrigerators, and distributing 800 remote temperature monitors, vaccine carriers, and cold boxes. And away from the African scene onto the foreign scene, Rodrigo Chaves, the finance minister in Costa Rica's outgoing government, was in pole position to win a run-up for the presidency in less than 2 weeks' time. A voter survey showed on Tuesday though the race remained too tight to call. Chaves, an anti-establishment technocrat who had worked for the World Bank up until 2019, scored 43.3% against 38.1%. The survey of 1,015 voters conducted by the University Center for Research and Political Studies between March 17 and 21 found 16.5% were still undecided. And with Chaves' lead reduced to just over 5 percentage points, the contest could go to the wire, whereas a similar poll earlier this month had made him the favorite to win. And in Russia, President Vladimir Putin intends to attend a G20 summit being hosted by Indonesia later this year. Russia's ambassador in Jakarta said on Wednesday, following calls by some members for the country to be barred from the group. The United States and its Western allies are assessing whether Russia should remain within the group of 20 grouping of major economies following its invasion of Ukraine. The likelihood that any bid to exclude Russia outright would be vetoed by others in the club, which includes China, India, Saudi Arabia, and others, raised the prospect of some countries instead skipping G20 meetings this year, the sources said. And still on the foreign scene, heavy rains in southern China on Wednesday altered the search for victims, and flight information black boxes that could tell why a China Eastern Airline passenger plane plunged into a mountainside 2 days earlier with 132 people on board. Rainwater was filling the depression in the soft soil caused by the impact of the crash, state television reported, and the local weather bureau said there were risks of landslides, torrents, and high winds as conditions deteriorated in the mountain of Guangxi region. The wet weather was forecast to last for the rest of the week, and the cause of the crash is yet to be determined, with aviation authorities warning that their investigation will be very difficult because of the severe damage to the aircraft. While desperate and grief-stricken relatives of people who had been on board visited the crash site on Wednesday. And on to the sports scene, Premier League referee Mike Dean will retire at the end of the 2021 and 2022 season, but is likely to continue as a full-time VAR official. Dean has been a Premier League official since 2000 and has gone on to referee 553 matches in total, issuing 114 red cards in the process, more than any other referee. Famous for his showman-like technique and no-nonsense approach with players, the 53-year-old has taken charge of some of the division's biggest games. After 22 years as a Premier League referee, which includes 2 FA Cup final appearances, the avid Tranmere Rovers fan is stepping down to allow the next generation of elite match officials the chance to emulate his career in the middle. And finally, Manchester United midfielder Pagba has revealed his World Cup winners' medal was among the items stolen during a recent burglary at his home. The France international spoke last week of his family's worst nightmare after his house was broken into while his children were asleep in their bedroom. The incident occurred last Tuesday while Pagba was playing in Manchester United's Champions League match against Atletico Madrid at Old Trafford, and his children were in the care of their nanny. Pagba said his family had been robbed of their sense of safety and security, while the 29-year-old has now given more details of how he has been affected and added that the medal he received after France won the World Cup in 2018 was stolen. And that's all from us on news updates on AFRICUNIA Television. Do ensure to follow all our social media platforms on Join to Pagba, Instagram, and Facebook respectively. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and leave a comment for us on the comment section. My name is Deborah Ezeh. Many thanks for watching.